What kind of music do you like? You into rock, pop, liturgical dance? Well, there is a new genre that is wrapped in mystery that you can only find on streaming services like Spotify, and that is why it has garnered the name of mysterycore. There are artists that you can see on your Spotify that may not actually be real artists. They've been infiltrating people's playlists. Artists with, just to pull it up here, Berenjulo 5 or Brate Knight or DJ Bruege. I'm not even going to spell these things for you because they make no sense. So how are these artists getting in your Spotify feed, and what does it say about Spotify? What's going on underneath the surface? Well, to explain that, we have one-time and possible future music journalist Jono Seidler and technology journalist Claire Riley from CNET here. You're an expert in music. Take me back to this. How does this whole thing get started?
I'm struggling to find the logic behind it, but the basic premise is that there are artists who have no other kind of tentacles anywhere else on the internet or online, or, you know, they have no social profile. You can't really look them up. And people are going onto their Spotify and seeing, because you can kind of track what you've listened to, that they've been listening to these artists who technically don't exist. And when they go and try and go down the rabbit hole, which you can do through Spotify just by clicking on the name, they get there and it's just no one. They're like ghosts, essentially. And people now think that their accounts are being hacked and that this is being used as some sort of like weird data mining or advertising kind of vibe, which I think is amazing. I think it's just like such an interesting concept that you could be listening to things that you don't know, and like, it's just like, are they inside your brain? Are they trying to trick you so you feel like you're in alternate reality? I think maybe it's Daft Punk doing the whole thing. Like, I'm just not really sure.
So if you were to open up your Spotify right now and you saw in the collection of artists that you would listen to names like Berenjulo 5 or Brate Knight or DJ Bruege or Dublin Knight.
See, they even sound stupid when you say
it. Yeah. I've just realised this is the first time I've said them out loud. I went, these are really hard to say.
Yeah, stupid names.
Stupid names. And musically, they're short songs, very few, sometimes no lyrics, very generic cover art, non-descriptive song titles, but they just are popping up in people's playlists. And as Jono said, there is some concern now that it actually is indicative of a security flaw, Claire.
Yeah, so this kind of popped up. A lot of people didn't actually discover it until they saw this is the song, this is the music you listened to in 2018.
Right.
Spotify generates that list for you to make it really socially shareable.
And you're like, who is that?
Yeah, right? A lot of people saw that, and, you know, those names that you mentioned are just completely weird. There was an issue back in September of last year where Facebook had a data breach, because everything links back to Facebook.
Drink!
Facebook had a data breach for their access tokens. So access tokens, if you log into Spotify using your Facebook account, which is something that Facebook has had issues with in the past, you know, logging into a website using your Facebook email and password. Once again, sidebar PSA, don't do that, please.
But I'm very lazy, Claire.
You are lazy. Get a password manager. Very, very easy to use. So
it's like you're getting schooled on your own
away
show.
from the
I love
sidebar, Facebook said they revoked all those access tokens, kind of a complicated thing in the back end security-wise, but essentially that shouldn't have been a breach point or a breach vector for Spotify. But a lot of people are questioning that, because it's like, well, I haven't listened to this music, so maybe someone has hacked my account and tried to get these plays up. But when you're talking about sort of 0.6 cents per stream for a band, they have to get a lot of streams to get that kind of revenue through.
So it's unlikely to be a money-making venture in and of itself.
Yeah, but also if you get bots involved, you suddenly have the ability to run up streams very, very quickly. And I think what's really interesting about this is it reminds me of Elsagate. Do you guys remember, we discussed it on a previous
Does it
episode.
involve Frozen?
It involves Frozen. It involves YouTube videos aimed at children that have a thumbnail and a name like Learn to Count, and it's got a picture of someone in an Elsa costume, probably a cheap Halloween costume store thing. And then the videos take a weird turn into like violence, sometimes sexual, sometimes just weird scatological humour like pooping and things.
Although, to be fair, if you've got a 4-year-old child, they'd be into that.
I mean, that's just par for the course. But these videos that look okay to parents, they were busting through YouTube's algorithms for safety and getting onto YouTube Kids, and a lot of kids were finding them really disturbing. Parents coming in and seeing Peppa Pig was another really popular one. You know,
like decapitating people.
Yeah,
and stuff.
poorly drawn cartoons or computer generated by bots that they were, you know, really violent videos.
But what was the end game of that?
The end game is that if you can generate a lot of YouTube streams and you can get ads into your content, because all of these platforms are designed to be monetized, can you potentially just build up a lot of bot-generated or user-generated streams?
Hijack someone's account, and while they're asleep, you're listening to this phantom artist for 9 hours at a time.
Yeah, exactly. So if the songs are only 1 or 2 minutes long, then you're getting through each song very quickly.
60 times in an hour.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's a long game. Get a job. Or, you know.
It's the same kids who are like doing the US election, right? They're just like, all right, we've got nothing to do at the moment.
Nothing's happening here in Moldova. I think I'll go hack the United States election.
I'll start a troll farm.
It's interesting though, because I mean, Spotify has come under fire at the end of last year as well for like, they're very into optimizing their own platform and creating music. They've got like their kind of Spotify studios, and there was this whole, we were talking about mysterycore, but there is this argument that's been leveled, particularly by music journalists, which I am former and somewhat current.
Hire him is what he's saying.
No, that Spotify has created a certain sound that they know that they can slot into multiple playlists with certain artists who sound the same and look the same. It's like kind of like 20-something girls who have like sad kind of lyrics and kind
We've
of
all
look
heard
like
Billie Eilish. I know who you're talking about.
It's the seafood extender of the Spotify playlist.
Precisely.
The sausage of the sea, the sausage of the Spotify.
All right. I'm actually really curious to know if you have had this experience. Have you gone through your Spotify playlist and found mystery artists that you don't quite know how they got there? If you've actually had this experience, I want to hear from you. Head along to Twitter and use the hashtag download this show. If you're watching this on the ABC News YouTube channel, as I know some of you are, leave a comment underneath. We'll get in contact with you, because I'm fascinated to know just how widespread this is. Huge thank you to Claire Riley and Jono Seiler. Thanks for coming back on the show.
Thank you.
And also, if you have any suggestions for stories you'd like us to cover and you are watching this on the YouTube channel, you can leave a comment below. If you're watching this on TV, just yell really loudly. I will hear it. Maybe. Yeah.